International news will help you get up to speed on current events around the globe. ProQuest is an article aggregator. Think Netflix or Hulu. It has international news through many newspapers and magazines. You can use the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal to learn about significant current events from around the world. Both of these newspapers are available for free to RIT students through ProQuest. Using these two newspapers can be helpful for a broad project like in a class such as INTB 225. If you were doing a detailed, in-depth analysis of a country, like for a master's thesis, you might want to look at sources from the country itself. This video will demonstrate a quick method to get major news events picked up from around the world. Use Advanced Search, found in the middle left of the view, to limit just to the publications Wall Street Journal and New York Times. The drop-down menu on the right-hand side allows you to limit to the field publication title. Type in Wall Street Journal in quotation marks, followed by an uppercase or, followed by New York Times in quotation marks. Notice the publication titles do not need uppercase letters, but the or is uppercase as a Boolean connector. We can also limit our dates because we don't want everything, and choose 12 months using the field on the bottom left. Using the second row, use the document title field to limit to articles with the name of your country in the headline. This results list found 48 items. They are sorted in relevance order, as shown on the sorted field to the left, and you can switch that to most recent first. But in this case, you have such a small amount, you can just browse the headlines. Remember, we're only looking at, right now, 12 months worth of articles. As you browse the articles, you can see that some are related to politics, usually about a leader or a political party. Some are related to news within the country, and others are related to individuals from that country. You'll have to use your judgment looking at these headlines. Also notice that each one of these has a details and full text link. The details link will take you to the subject headings assigned to this article. In this case, this article about a scandal among the leadership has the subject heading Corruption. If you wanted to search for articles from these two publications related to Austria with the subject heading Corruption, you would simply modify the search, use the subject heading option on the right-hand side, and type in Corruption, now that we know that's an official subject heading. And as you can see in this example, you only get 2 articles. This is an example where the subject headings can be helpful, but at the same time, there's a possibility of doing just a free text search within the document text might bring up more articles for you. You can also add other terms to your document title. Maybe you wonder if there are any articles that have the word economy in the document title, and in this case there were none. So we add another row on the bottom, type in economy, and search. We're going to leave the field for anywhere to search across the entire document text, and we see we only found 6 results. And then you need to look in the articles to see the context of the word economy. And in this case, a few of these articles are only using economy to describe a specific minister or government official within that country. Now you can also use ProQuest to search even broader beyond the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So we simply remove from that first field the names of those two publications, and now we're searching across the entire database for anything that has the word Austria and the word economy in the title. These are still sorted on the left-hand side by relevance order, and as you browse, you can see that some, like the first one, might be of interest to you about the Austrian economy from the OECD, and others, like the second one from the New Theater Quarterly, probably not as relevant for an INTB project. Notice, too, that numbers 1 and 2 are not available immediately in full text, and we need to use the Access Full Text link to see if RIT has access. And in this case, RIT does have access to the OECD Economic Outlook. You would browse to the edition that you wanted to look at. In this case, it will open up as a PDF, and you would look at the table of contents to look at the section on Austria. You could then download this PDF and save it for your future research. You can also look at the details to see if there are any other subject headings of interest. As you browse the items you've retrieved, you'll see news, reports from entities like the OECD, and reports from the EIU, which is the Economist Intelligence Unit. The EIU views wires are very good for getting quick data on economies, politics, and social indicators, among other items. To recap, ProQuest will be a great source to get you up to speed on current global events and news from specific countries. Start by targeting the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, and then broaden your search. So, is ProQuest the only place to get news? No. There are lots of free sources out on the web, including the New York Times, but in examples like the New York Times, you are limited to a certain number of articles, usually per month. ProQuest gives you control over doing some advanced searching, and it gives you deeper access to articles for free. On the class info guide, you will also see a box that gives you access to articles from The Economist, The Wall Street Journal, and The New York Times, Bloomberg, and Businessweek for more international news. So you have a lot of choices from where you might draw your news, but starting with the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal through ProQuest is a nice way to quickly get up to speed with some advanced search functionality, and then moving into other sources to broaden out your knowledge.